Hello and welcome. This is Crypt, and today we are going to go over the Hushed Saint build. This is a build designed to mimic the Hushed Saint boss. We are currently in the Hushed Saint arena. Um, Obviously, there isn't too many spells and whatnot in the game that can actually mimic everything that there is on him, so we've got some, we'll say, fill-ins. But, anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, to begin with, we are using the Hush Saint's Halberd with a +10 with increased physical and extra poison twice. We are also using the Hush Saint's Shield at +5 with extra mana regen twice and health regen once in sockets. We are also using Lord Berescu's Catalyst because we don't really have a Catalyst tied to the Hush Saint as far as we know, and we do know that he uses the Umbral spell because he uses St. Latimer's Javelin, which is right here, St. Latimer's Javelin, which is his Umbral spell. But his spell part's a little more complicated, so we'll get into that in a second. So, he's also using the Pumpkin Head because he's like a Headless Horseman. Well, he essentially is the Headless Horseman, and the Headless Horseman is almost always got a pumpkin replacing its head. Plus, the Hush Saint's armor with the Warrior's Claw for increased physical defense and increased physical attack. Queen Vera's Ring to heal us over time to give us that feel like we have more HP than we do. And then the Ring of Radiant Preeminence. So, we have to use, or we're using an Umbral Catalyst, and we know that he uses an Umbral spell, but in his lore, as you can see from this right here, it did say that he was trying to learn some simple, basic Radiant spells. And then as his body corrupted in the fen, that they kind of mutated. Well, I wanted to make it feel like he kind of was that character. So, I have that ring on so that we could also have the towing on, and Poison Weapon, Ore of Tenacity, and Flesh Dye. Now, these all have a purpose, and I'll get to that in a second. Real quick for the items, Sanguinarics, Healing Stones, Mana Stones, Stop Healing PvP for more fair fights, and Flex Slot, whatever you want to do. If I end up with a weapon art that's going to disappear for the Vertebraes, where the hell are they? Vertebraes. But anyways, just to go over the spells again real quick. St. Latimer's Javelin, you've all seen it. It's the one he uses inside the boss fight, right? The towing. So, during the boss fight, he bangs his chest twice, and then he fires off a horse at you. Now, obviously, I can't fire a horse at you, but I can bang myself a couple times and fire off an AoE attack. So, there we have the towing. Ding, ding, ding. Then we have Ore of Tenacity, one of the most basic Hollow Sentinel spells in the game, apparently. Also requires very little Radiance, a Radiant 8. Hollow Sentinel's greatest strength, he was a Hollow Sentinel, it just makes sense. Then he wanted to help Salad. Then we have Flesh Tide here, okay? Now, Flesh Tide, you would think at first, wow, that doesn't make any sense, skulls and whatnot. But actually, St. Latimer during the boss fight has, during on this horse, and when he's off his horse, can do this big AoE thing where it looks like the roots are rolling across the ground, coming at you. So, the best way I could do to mimic that was Flesh Tide with the rolling corpses. I thought it was interesting, and I felt like it'd be bad to not have his actual boss big hit move in there. So that's the best I could do for it. Then we also have Poison Weapon to mimic during about I want to say a quarter way into his life. He'll slam his weapon into the ground, pull it back out, all buffed and bigger and whatnot. Since there's no actual weapon art to do that right now, we are just buffing our weapon with poison instead, because it fits into it, and he's still a poison weapon and whatnot. If I could have done more frostbite stuff in this build without making it feel like it broke the theme, I would have, because he actually does hit you with frostbite during the battle, but oh well. Anyways, just to go over the lamp real quick, extra damage to soul, extra healing proficiency in Umbral, immunity damage for 8 seconds while in Umbral, basic stuff, nothing really important there, it's not really far to build. Let's see here, in our basic stats. Our basic stats are 75 strength, 34 agility, 19 endurance, 53 vitality, 30 radiance, 22 inferno. The 75 strength because he was a melee combatant during the fight for the most part, so I wanted to capitalize on the high scaling the halberd. The agility at 34 is because I wanted to keep building that damage, and also I was going to have it higher originally, but as time went on I had to pull points out of that and to put into radiance and inferno to be able to equip that spell right there. So that kind of messed things up a little bit. That spell and that spell required me to get those two stats as high as they are. Otherwise, I would have put them a little bit lower. I would have put them a lot lower. Then we have the 53 vitality because he's kind of trucky and he just sits there and he takes a lot of hits because he attacks slow, so I wanted to kind of replicate that feeling. And the 19 endurance because that is where I felt comfortable with this thing without any sort of stamina buff. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. What we're going to do here is we'll probably end up leaving you with some PvP Thank you again for joining. Please like and subscribe if you like the content, and I hope to see you around in the next build video. Peace. Fuck it, Lord, bitch. What the hell? My own game. My attack not working. How?